Hey everyone, it's a Phoam Ranger with another episode of Phoam Ranger Sports. This one's going to be recapping a game which the Boise State men's basketball team got absolutely belt-to-ass at home and arguably one of the, worst losses under Liam Rice in Prowling program history. 93-68. This is how the Broncos' third straight conference loss. Boise State moves to 9-7 and 1-5 in conference play. After this loss again, the Broncos, Utah State was favored by 1 to 2 points. Going into this game, but Vegas at Camp Phoam, and it was the largest home loss in program history in terms of point spread, 25. Again, this was a real rough game where nothing really went right for the Broncos men's basketball team. An extremely rough game and a little disappointing. Utah State now moves to 14-1, and they're undefeated in conference play. Yeah, it was rough to start the game out because Utah State started the game on a 10-0 run. The Broncos didn't get their first basket till about 2.5 minutes into the game. Yeah, it was a really rough game. The Broncos on offense and defense as well. Here are the team stats. Utah State shot 57% overall, 33 of 58, 44% from three-point range, 11-25. There was 76% for charity stripe, 16-21. They only had 8 turnovers, 23 points off their turnovers, 33 boards, 12 which offensively, 3 blocks, 6 steals, and 19 assists. Whereas the Broncos shot 37% from the floor, 21 to 57, 27% for 3, 7 to 26, 76% for charity stripe, 19 to 25. Had 12 turnovers, 7 points off Aggie turnovers, 31 boards, 14 of which were on the offensive glass, 4 block shots and 4 steals and 10 assists. In the game, the Aggies, with 4:46 left in the game, had a lead of 32 points. Yet they led 46-23 at halftime. And their largest run was 10 points. The Broncos' largest run was 6 points. It was 46-23 half, and then Utah State won the second half by 2 points, 47-45. Again, Aggies had 23 points off for turnovers. We had 10 points off theirs. They also had 26 second chance points. We had 16. They had 27 points off their bench. We had 32. They had 40 points in the paint, so 40 of their 96 or 93 points came in the paint. We only had 26 points of paint. They had 12 fast break points. We had 6. Yeah, it was a real rough game, as I mentioned. A lot of those points of pain were pretty easy. Yeah, we got down early, and mentally, I think the team was a little weak. Not only coaching, but also the players. Because after they got down 10-0, you could really tell on their faces and their energy and how they were behaving was that, they were really starting to panic after getting down 10-0 early in the game. Which unfortunately started then, and then it continued to snowball a bit. We did hit a 3 to make it 10-3, but then they got a bucket, then we got another 3, then they got more buckets in a row. And so Yeah, it was a real rough game, as I've been saying a lot. Yeah, because we're not rotating well on defense. We weren't rebound the ball well on defense. There were a few times where the Aggies had like 4 or 5, for their whole team on the court near the basket for an offensive board. We maybe had 2 max defenders near the basket. That's what they got to get them out there all boards against us defensively. Offensively, we, just like the past other 4 games, were really stagnant, really vanilla. A lot more of standing around and just working around the outside, not really trying to attack the inside as much. And yeah, this was a game that Bronco fans didn't really like to watch. I think probably at the end of the season there might be some coaching changes coming up. I think maybe Tim Duryea might be on the way out. Because again, every game in conference play, we have not gotten more. We have not got to 30 points at halftime. The closest we got was 29. But we're still down by like 7 or 8 at half. Let's not forget, San Diego State, we're down like 25 at half as well. So yes, we have been really struggling recently in the past in these 5 games of open conference play. The first half, and really had to have Herculean efforts like against New Mexico to tie it up and win it. Then against San Diego State to tie it up, force overtime, force double overtime, force triple overtime. But again, like on Wednesday, that petered out against Grand Canyon. Again, we got down early. Then we had to try to make comebacks. Got within 4, but that was it. This game not even close. The closest we got to was maybe like about 13 points. But that was it. So this is the 3rd straight lost conference play, which is the first time that's happened since we joined the Mountain West. We never lost 3 in a row in conference play. We start the conference portion 1-4. I believe, right? Yep, because our lone win so far in conference play was New Mexico. Again, that was a Herculean effort to get to be down only, to come back from being down like by double digits, like 11 in that game. So yeah, this is a rough start for the Broncos to start conference play. Again, this is probably tied for the worst start in conference play since like the 2019 team. And again, we are now 9-7, and if we keep performing this way, we're not going to meet the standard of 20 wins, which has been more of a standard for Liam Rice-led teams. There's only been a few years that we did. In 2019 was one of them, and our first year in the conference was also one of them. They've failed to reach 20 wins in the season, in the regular season, I should say. Because again, we're a quarter of the way in, 5 games of conference play done now. Got 15 more. In order to get to 20 wins in the regular season, we have to win 11 of the next 15. And with how the team has played in these opening 5 conference games, it's not looking good. It is not. I think we have to reevaluate this team. Because again, they looked real good on the road at Baylor, a major conference, a team from major conference, the Big East, I believe. And again, we beat Baylor by double digits on the road in a massive game, massive win for the program. Then soon after that, we beat St. Mary's, a neutral site game. St. Mary's is really good. And we're thinking that, we'll do pretty dang good in conference play, but that has not been the case. We have looked more like the Hawaii Pacific team in conference play than the team that beat Baylor, the team that beat Wichita State, Utah Valley, and St. Mary's. some quality games and quality opponents. We have not looked like that team at all in conference play. We have not. Especially to start a game. Again, we've always had to come back after being down really early. And that is not sustainable for this team. Last year, the program would do like unbreakable culture as their motto, but this year, at least in terms of conference play to start out, looks like culture may be breaking a bit because I'd really see anyone stepping up to be a leader this year, especially conference play. Rebounding's taken a bit of a backseat because we used to be an elite rebounding team, but this year we're not that. We panic a lot more. Tempers flare a bit. In the game, Liam Rice was a little, chewing Berto Burgessson out a little bit in the game, reportedly, and it was a real rough game. Especially since, like our point guard play as in the post game after the Grand Canyon game, he basically publicly berated his point guards in terms of playing Neto and Andrews. And this game, was a little similar. Neto had an assist and that was it in the game. Our 2 point guards, only 1 assist between the 2 of them. Part of the offensive roles has mainly been because our point guards a bit are more just dribbling at the top of the key, not really trying to do much with the ball at that point. Trying to find or have others try to facilitate the offense instead of them. So yeah, it's been a little rough with the point guard play recently in that regard. And also Liam probably didn't win himself any favor with the fan base after the Grand Canyon game because he did publicly blast Bronco Nation a little bit in the post-game presser after the Grand Canyon game on Wednesday. Said that he was disappointed in the fact that a lot of fans were leaving, and though the team's play was below standard on Wednesday, even though it was a late start, like 9:15 p.m. on, like a week or school night, or like a work night, school night. And again, a game which the Broncos were down like about 19 points and again got back to within 4. Again, the fans are going to be affected by the style of play and performance of the players and coaching staff on the floor, sort of like about how they are affected and impacted by the fan base. So I think that was probably a major misstep by Leon after the game on Wednesday, and I hope he doesn't mention anything about the fan base on this one because this was an embarrassing performance, really disappointing, and I hate to say it, pathetic. It was a pretty pathetic performance by the Broncos, by the coaching staff, and by the players. Like the fan base did their best to help out, but again, when you're down like 23 points early in the game, it's tough to really have your fan base buy in, try to will a comeback. So, yeah, the basketball program is in a bit of identity crisis and a bit in a crisis right now because if this keeps happening, fan support is going to go down as if this continues. It's only going to keep going down more and more. It might result in fewer people going to Vegas and probably were excited to earlier in this season. Because right now, if we keep playing this way, I can almost guarantee you we're going to be in the first round in Vegas and we will get bounced. We're not going to be in the NCAA tournament. That's pretty much a certainty right now, based upon how inconsistent the team is and how below standard they've been playing in conference play. And that continues, there's no way they're going to qualify for it because, again, I don't think if they continue playing like this game and like the previous 4 to start conference play, they're going to get bounced the first round of the conference tournament. So, yeah, I'd say don't expect this team to be playing the NCAA tournament this year. Probably won't be on the college basketball crown, which last year was the first year that. Probably don't expect in the NIT. I mean, maybe there might be a bit of an outside shot. We might get into that one. But again, next 15 games, we got to win at least 9 of those. And maybe a first round win, maybe a quarterfinal win in the conference tournament. Then maybe might be in the NIT. Then again, maybe not. So you're also looking at maybe the CBI and CIT if the team players and coaches really want that. I highly doubt it because those last two, the CBI and CIT, those you have to pay to play in them. And I don't think the Bronco basketball program wants to pay to play in those tournaments. So, yeah, this is going to be probably a year in which case the team is probably going to, if they continue playing the way they have been, to fail on achieving the goals of a conference title and playing the NCAA tournament, which is ironic since, again, like the pieces they brought in for this year were supposed to get us to be in the NCAA tournament and potentially win the conference tournament. But with how they start off conference play, both those are looking more and more remote every game. Which sucks because I myself am going to Vegas, gonna meet my mom in Vegas. And again, it's gonna be a little shorter of a trip than I would have loved and wanted to. In terms of for the men's basketball, I mean, of course, we'll stay the whole time with Mom, since she was working in a hospital in Minneapolis, St. Paul, and it's going to be the first time I'll have been able to see her in a year. So, I mean, yeah, if we get bounced in the first round, she and I will just treat her like a bit of a father-son vacation at that point. Yeah, but either way, we'd love to have this team really kicking into gear and start playing up to our level and standards that we know they can play at. And stop massively underperforming. Because if they do that, they can beat anyone in this conference. I really do believe that. And also might go on a bit of a run a la New Mexico in 2024. Because that New Mexico team that year only won 8 conference games. Went in as the 7th or 8th seed. Won their first round game. Beat us in the quarters. Won the semis. And won the whole damn Mountain West Conference tournament that year. Again, they were, led by Jalen House and Donovan Dent. I mean, that was a really impressive squad. Even though the conference play, we swept them. And they only had 8 wins in conference play. And yet, they still found a way to flip the switch when it came to playing in Vegas for a conference tournament and won the whole thing. Hopefully we can find a way to do that. Or not have to wait until Vegas to do that. I mean, flip the switch now. I mean, I'd say, hopefully it's only upward from here. We break these bad habits and we get going. We get playing to the level and the standards we know that the team knows they're fully capable of. Because, yeah, it's not really pretty right now, especially on social media about this game and about the team performance and how they've been in the past to start conference play. I mean, I remember towards the end I heard someone yelling, fire Leon Rice. I mean, I don't necessarily fully agree with that right now, but I agree that his seat has to be at least getting somewhat warm. Because this team has not been playing up to their potential, not playing up to the standard of what Boise State basketball is. And it's been pretty underwhelming. Honestly, this is probably a worse loss than the Quad 4 home loss to Cal State Bakersfield in 2021. The game that saw the emergence of Tyson Degenhart and the departure of Devonair Dutrieve. So, I mean, right now we still got everything ahead of us. We could still win the conference. It's going to be damn tough to do, but that's still possible. We could go on a bit of a run like New Mexico did, have a little magic like they did. And yes, and that's the case. We can theoretically still make the NCAA tournament. But again, if we keep playing like the way we are now, which is similar to how we were against Hawaii Pacific to start the year, That's what could happen. But if we play like we did against like Wichita State, Utah Valley, USC in a close loss, Beller, road win, Idaho, or St. Mary's in Idaho Falls, we play like that, we give ourselves a much better chance of stacking wins in conference play and learn ourselves to potentially go on a run going into Vegas and carry that momentum in to Vegas for the conference tournament. So now that's it all that. Let's look at the stats for this. We'll do game stats, then we'll look at first half, second half in particular. So M. Collins, who is arguably become more and more like a breakout player for the now his conference player of the year. In 27 minutes, he had 25 points on 8 of 13 shooting, 5 of 9 overall, 4 of 5 from charity stripe, 2 boards, 1 assist, 3 fouls. Number 8, Allen, in 25 minutes. Of note, he was more of a game-time decision since reportedly, from what I saw on Twitter, he wasn't feeling that good. He was a little sick and on IV fluids, but he was deemed good to go for this game. He chipped in 14 points on 6 of 7 shooting, 2 of 3 from beyond the arc, and missed his only free throw attempt. He had a board, game-high 8 assists, 1 foul, and 1 turnover. And I should note that M. Collins, number 2, had the game high for points. Mason Falslev, in 34 minutes, had 16 points on 4 of 7 shooting, 1 of 2 from 3-point range, and 7 of 8 from charity stripe. He had 9 boards, 5 assists, 2 fouls, and a turnover. Number 32, Keller, 14 minutes played, 2 points, 1 of 2 from the floor, 5 boards, and 3 fouls. Number 35, Eleman, 30 minutes played, 9 points, 3 of 7 from the floor, 1 of 4 from 3-point range, and 2 of 2 from charity stripe. Also had a board and a foul. From the bench, number 1, Perlman, 15 minutes, 6 points, 2 of 6 from the floor, 0 for 2 for 3, and 2 of 2 from charity stripe, 1 board, 3 assists, 3 fouls, 3 turnovers. Number 3, Anderson, 2 minutes played, 0 for 1 from the floor. Number 5, Barnes, 2 minutes played, 0 for 1 from the floor, which was a 3-point attempt. Number 7, Keene, 17 minutes played, 8 points on 3 of 6 shooting, 2 of 4 from beyond the arc, 2 fouls, and a turnover. Number 11, Clark, 14 minutes played, 6 points, 3 of 4 from the floor, missed his free throw, 3 boards, and 2 fouls. Number 20, Kearney, played for a minute, had a foul and a board. Number 22, Templin, 17 minutes played, 7 points, 3 of 4 from the floor, 1 of 2 from the charity stripe, 4 boards, 2 assists, 4 fouls, 2 turnovers. For the Broncos, the starters were Neto, Andrews, Meadow, Fielder, and Buchanan. AJ Neto, played 24 minutes, 6 points, 2 of 4 from the floor, which were all 3-point attempts, 2 boards, 1 assist, 3 fouls, and 1 turnover. Dylan Andrews, one of the only promising things from this game, is that in 30 minutes played, he had 16 points, 5 of 13 from the floor, and 2 of 8 from beyond the arc. 4 of 5 for charity stripe. Get going this game. He made 5 field goals total in 4 conference games before this. In this game, he had 5 himself. Though he did have to take 13 shots to do it and was only 2 of 8 from 3-point range. So it is a little more promising that he is starting to make his shots again and starting to get more confidence. But you would prefer to see his shot feeling be a little lower, yet still making the shots. He also had 2 fouls and 3 turnovers in the game. No assists. We definitely need him to start dishing the ball more and getting more assists. In the middle of the game, 21 minutes, only 9 points. He was 3 of 4 from the floor, 0 for 3, and 3 of 5 for charity stripe, 4 boards, 2 fouls. Drew Fielder played only 15 minutes a game. He had 2 points, 0 for 2 from the floor, 0 from 3, and 2 of 2 from charity stripe. So he didn't really get many opportunities to shoot the ball this game either. He had 1 board, 4 fouls, 2 turnovers. Jim Buchanan only played 10 minutes. It sounds like his lower body injury got re-aggravated in this game, and after he subbed out halfway through the first half, he did not come back in. So that's something to keep our eyes on going forward. about how healthy he really is. Again, in the 10 minutes he played, he had 3 points and 1 of 5 shooting, 1 of 2 from beyond the arc, 2 boards, 1 assist. Bondwell did see a minute of action. Didn't tip the shot, he had a turnover. RJ Keene had 20 minutes. He had 3 points, 1 of 4 from the floor, 1 of 3 from beyond the arc. 4 boards, 1 assist, 2 fouls, and a turnover. He was our team leader in rebounds. Dylan Andrews was our leader in points. Peanut Carmichael up the bench, 28 minutes, 12 points, 3 of 10 from the floor, 1 of 6 from 3. We'd love to see him make more shots. We'd love to see him shooting about 40% overall and definitely 30+% from being the arc. 5 of 6 with Chitty Strap as well, 2 boards, 1 assist, and 2 fouls. Dominic Perlin at the bench played 30 minutes. He had 12 points. Arguably a much better game for him. It was 4 of 8 from the floor, 4 of 5 from the charity stripe. Had 6 boards, 5 assists, 2 fouls, and a turnover. So arguably one of his better games this season. Then Roberto Burgesson, Rajon, Berto's son, saw 2 minutes of action in the game. No stats. And Spencer Ahrens off the bench, 18 minutes, 5 points. 2 assists from the floor, 0 from 3, 1 of 2 from charity stripe, 6 boards, 1 assist, 2 fouls, and a turnover. In the second half for the Aggies, they were 14 of 27 for 52%, 5 of 13 from the 3-point range for 39%, and 14 of 17 for 82% for charity stripe. They had 18 boards, 8 assists, 14 fouls, and 6 turnovers for the Broncos. Second half, 45 points on 14 of 32 shooting for 43.8%, 4-14 from beyond the arc for 28.6%, and 13 of 18 for 72% for charity stripe. 17 boards, 7 assists, 12 fouls, and 4 turnovers. The first half for the Aggies. And Collins had 12 points on 4 of 5 shooting, 2 of 3 from beyond the arc, 2 of 3 from charity strip, 2 boards, 1 assist, 2 fouls, 11 minutes. Allen, number 8, 7 points on 3 of 4 shooting, 1 of 2 for 3, 0 from charity strip, 1 board, 5 assists, 1 foul, 1 turnover, 14 minutes. False left, 7 points, 3 of 4 from the floor, made a 3-point attempt, 3 boards, 2 assists, 1 foul, and 17 minutes played. Number 32, Keller, 2 points, 1 of 2 shooting, 3 boards, 1 foul, 8 minutes. Number 35, Elliman, 5 points on 2 of 4 shooting, 1 of 2 for 3, 1 board, 1 foul, 17 minutes played. Number Perman, 2 points on 1 of 3 shooting, 0 from 3, 1 assist in 6 minutes. Number 7, Keene, 5 points on 2 of 5 shooting, 1 of 3 from 3, 1 turnover, 11 minutes. Number 11, Clark, 4 points on 2 of 2 shooting, 1 foul, 6 minutes played. And Templin, 2 points, 1 of 2 from the floor, 2 boards, 1 assist, 1 foul, and 9 minutes played. First half, they shot 61%, 19 of 31, 6 of 12 from beyond the arc for 50%, 2 of 4 from charity stripe, 15 boards, 11 assists, 8 fouls, 2 turnovers. Broncos in the first half, Neto had 6 points on 2 of 3 shooting, all threes, 2 fouls in 10 minutes. Dylan Andrews, 7 points on 2 of 4 shooting, 0 for 2 for 3 at 3 from the charity stripe. Had a foul, 3 turnovers in 15 minutes. And the middle had 1 point. Was 0 for the floor, which was 3-point attempt, 1-2 for charity stripe. Had 2 boards in 10 minutes. Number 23, Fielder, 2 points on 0 for 2 shooting, 0 for 3 and 2-2 from charity stripe. 2 fouls, 1 turnover, 10 minutes. We mentioned James Buchanan again. He only played 10 minutes the first half, but that was it. RJ Keene was 0 for 1 from the floor, which was a 3-point attempt in the first half. Had 2 boards, 2 fouls, and turnover 12 minutes. Peanut Carmichael, 0 for 2 from the floor, 0 for 3, 1 board, 1 assist. 13 minutes. Dominic Perlin had 2 points, 1 of 3 shooting, 2 boards, and 12 minutes. Spencer Ahrens had 2 points and 1 of 4 shooting, 0 for 3, 3 boards, 1 assist, 1 turnover in 8 minutes. The first set, the Broncos shot 10-25 for 28%, 3-12 for 3 for 25%, 6 assists for charity stripe for 85.7%. They had 14 boards, 3 assists, and 7 fouls, 8 turnovers. In the second half, Collins had 13 points, of 4 of 8 shooting, 3 of 6 from beyond the arc, 2 of 2 from charity stripe, 1 foul, 15 minutes. Number 8, Allen, 7 points, 3 of 3. Overall, made a 3-pointer, 3 assists, 11 minutes. Falselev, 9 points, 1 of 3 from the floor, misses 3, 7 of 8 from charity stripe, 6 boards, 3 assists, 1 foul, 1 turnover, 16 minutes. Number 32, Keller, 2 boards, 2 fouls, 6 minutes. Number 35, Alamin, 4 points, 1 of 3 from the floor, missed both threes and hit both of his free throws, 13 minutes. Run Perryman, 4 points and 1 of 3 shooting. 0 from 3, 2 of 2 from charity stripe, 1 board, 2 assists, 3 fouls, 3 turnovers, 9 minutes. 3 Anderson, 0 from the floor, 7 minutes. Number 5 Barnes, 0 for 1 from the floor, which was a 3-point attempt, 2 minutes. Number 7 Keene, 3 points on a made 3-pointer, 2 fouls, 6 minutes. Number 11 Clark, 2 points, 1 of 2 from the floor, misses free throw, 3 boards, 1 a foul, and 8 minutes. Number 20 Kearney, 1 board, 1 foul, 1 minute. Number 22 Templin, 5 points, 2 of 2 from the floor, 1 of 2 from charity stripe, 2 boards, 3 fouls, 2 turnovers, 8 minutes. Second half, Aggies were 14-27 for 52%. 5 of 13 for nearly 39% for 3 and 14 of 17 for 82% from charity stripe. They had 18 boards, 8 assists, 14 fouls, and 6 turnovers in the second half. Broncos, AJ Neto misses only 3-point attempt, which was his only shot in the second half. He had 2 boards, 1 assist, 1 foul, and 1 turnover, 14 minutes. Dylan Andrews had 9 points, 3 of 9 shooting, 2 of 6 from 3 and 1 of 2 from charity stripe, and 1 foul in 15 minutes. Andrew Meadow, 8 points on 3 of 3 from the floor and 2 of 3 from charity stripe, 2 boards, 2 fouls, 11 minutes. Jeff Fielder played only 5 minutes second half, had 1 board, 2 fouls, 1 turnover. Phoam only played in the second half for a minute. RJ Keene had 3 points, so 1 of 3 from the floor, 1 of 2 for 3, 2 boards, 1 assist, 8 minutes. Pina Carmichael really took off in the second half, scoring 12 points on 3 of 8 shooting, 1 of 5 from 3 and 5 of 6 from charity stripe, 1 board, 2 fouls, 15 minutes. Dominic Perlin had 10 points in the second half, 3 of 5 from the floor, 4 of 5 from the charity stripe, 4 boards, 5 assists, 2 fouls, 1 turnover, 18 minutes. Rachel Burgesson played his 2 minutes second half, and Spencer Arons only had 3 points, 1 of 3 from the floor, 1 of 2 from charity stripe, 3 boards, 2 fouls in 10 minutes. Broncos were 14 of 32 in the second half for 44%, 4 of 14 from being the arc for 29%, and 13 of 18 from charity stripe for 72%, 70 boards, 7 assists, 12 fouls, 4 turnovers. Also note, for more defensive stats, Zuri Fielder had a block shot, RJ Keene had a block shot and 2 steals, Peanut Carmichael had a steal, Dominic Perlin blocked 2 shots, and Spencer Arons had a steal as well. In terms of plus minuses, AJ Neto was minus 20, Dylan Andrews again was negative 23, Andrew Meadow was negative 18. Drew Fielder was negative 16. Jen Buchanan was negative 13. Bond Blum was negative 3. RJ Keene was negative 6. Pina Carmichael negative 5. Dominic Perlin negative 8. Rajon Burgesson was the only one who had a positive plus minus of 3. And Spencer Arons had a plus minus of negative 16. Again, plus means that the team did better when you were on the court. Minus means the team didn't do as well when you were on the court. There's especially stats. Broncos had 6 fast break points. There were 7 of 19 from layups, 1 of 2 from dunks. 65 possessions, 30 scores. Only averaged 1.05 points per possession. Scored on 46% of possessions. Turned the ball over on nearly 19% of their possessions. For the Aggies, Drake Allen was Didn't have any stats. Defense stats either. Mason Falselev was credited with 1 block shot and 3 steals. Zach Keller, 1 steal. Alan Elliman, 2 steals. Elijah Perman, 2 block shots. Tucker Anderson, 2 block shots. Sorry, Alan Elliman had 2 steals, no blocks. In terms of plus minuses, MJ Collins, plus 22. Drake Allen, plus 28. Mason Falselev, plus 26. Zach Keller, plus 15. Alan Elliman, plus 15. Elijah Perman, minus 3. Tucker Anderson, minus 2. Jordy Barnes, minus 2. Colby Keane, plus 4. Gary Clark, plus 7. Luke Kearney, minus 3. Carson Templin, plus 12. Again, Utah State at 12 fast break points, or 13-19 on layups, 3 of 4 from dunks, 63 possessions, 41 scores. They average 1 point for 8 points per possession. They score on a 65% of possessions, turn the ball over 13% of the time of their possessions. So, yeah, real rough game overall for the Broncos, as I said multiple times. I mean, what was noted was, well, a couple things. Not necessarily related to stuff on the court, but earlier in the day, the Corral and Boise State tweet out that if you had a college student ID, or any student ID, like elementary, junior high, or high school, you could get in for free. Turns out Corral leadership didn't realize about how passionate Utah State is, especially the herd their student section is, especially given the fact they're 4 hours away. So, like, about 3 hours beforehand, they changed it to you have to have an Idaho student ID card. You know, you had to either be going to college in Idaho or had to have a Idaho student ID to be able to get in for free to be in the Corral. And Utah State fans are having a bit of a field day with that. And Utah State did have a hell of a great contingent of fans of the game. They did drown out the Bronco fans a bit, especially as they were getting the lead out to 20. In fact, there was a time where they're up by 30 points in this game. I should have mentioned, yet they were up at 30 at one point in this game. And yeah, it was impressive. I was impressed by the Utah State fans. And yes, I heard their student section did travel out. They had a great contingent. Made it feel like a real basketball game. And yeah, they were pretty loud and raucous and made for a fun environment. Unfortunately, our performance didn't live up to it. Again, the lights were too bright for the program this year. Yes, but there were some real funny things, like, again, and when Dylan Andrews was shooting free throws, some of the Utah State herd were like, your coach hates you. Because, again, he was one of the main point guards that Leon Rice publicly blasted on Wednesday after the GCU game. And I got a kick out of those same Utah State fans and the herd, their student section, chanting, Leon hates his fans, again, referencing to the post-GCU presser when Leon publicly blasted the fan base a bit. So, yes, Utah State definitely has an elite fan base. They travel extremely well. I was really impressed with their fan base. And again, they have a basketball team that backs it up. I seriously thought they were going to put 100 on us. And I think that would have been the first time ever an opponent has put up 100 points on the Broncos on our home court. And I hear 93 is the most we've allowed at home. So they did have that, but I think it would have been pretty cool if they would have gotten 100 on us. Yeah, so at the end of the season, I think you're going to probably see some changes, maybe some changes to the coaching staff, maybe involving Leon Rice himself, maybe not. We'll see how that goes, but yeah, Leon's definitely having a pretty warm seat right now. Not quite hot, but pretty dang warm. I think Tim Derrier is probably not going to be the offensive coach after this year. You do remember that when he got let go from Utah State, there was quite a contingent of Utah State fans who were happy. with that, because again, his offenses were about similar to how it is now with the Broncos. And again, ever since Duryea left and came here, Utah State's had some impressive offense. So maybe there's a correlation in between that. The question is, if that were to be the case, who would become the next offensive coordinator and offensive coach for the Broncos? Because we need to find some that can't get us to an elite level offensively. It's good. We got some pretty talented guys, but for now, yes, they're in their heads a little bit. And yes, they are struggling mightily to score. A lot of that is self-inflicted, including coaching as well. We're definitely going to need to find a new offense coordinator who can elevate our players and really tap their true potential, more so than Duryea has in the past few years. Also, we definitely need a rebounding coach. Because, again, before the season, David Moats was released. He was our rebounding coach. And when he was rebounding coach, we were rebounding at a hell of an elite level. Like the top 25 year in year out with him as a rebounding coach in the nation. And we're definitely missing that this year. For not only the defensive but offensive side too, because again, tonight there are probably times where maybe we could have maybe gotten some offensive boards, but since again, rebounding apparently has taken a bit of a backseat this year. More secondary for the team and for the players and a little bit of the coaching staff, but also because they don't have a bona fide rebounding coach this year. I don't think so. So definitely to get a solid to great or elite rebounding coach. We really need that going in next year. And there might be some newer faces or at this season we'll see how the rest of the year plays out, but I wouldn't be surprised if there might be some people who are into the portal. I mean, might see some of that, because I think the culture, the program is a little damaged right now. I mean, yeah, it can be fixed. But I definitely say right now it is still damaged. Again, they don't really have a true leader, true player leader like Tyson Dagenhart this year right now. They don't really have that. We don't really have unselfish point guard play like Marcus Shaver or Alvaro Cardenas last year. We don't really have that. So, yeah. Hopefully, Dylan Andrews can get it going more so as a true point guard. I mean, not be as selfish in terms, same with Neto, about just dribbling and not really facilitating offense. Hopefully they can really start being the offense facilitators. And for Andrews, hopefully tonight is just a glimpse of him actually getting back to where he was before conference play, of being more efficient and effective for the shooting, because I hear rumors that we got him to come here with an NFL deal of $700,000 to $800,000. And so for conference play, unfortunately, has really played like it. I mean, tonight, it definitely showed a bit of that worthiness of being paid that much, but still, it still does leave quite a bit to be desired. So definitely need to be more of an unselfish team. Definitely to be working more offensively, attacking inside, doing more penetration drives to kickouts. Because, it's been a lot more ISO or just dribbling and just passing on the perimeter more so than trying to work for great shots. I mean, again, in the game, we had 21 total baskets, but only 10 assists. So we had less than half an assist for every made shot. Versus Utah State, they had 33 total baskets and 19 assists. So again, so they're definitely not playing as selfishly as we were. Again, that's a bit of a theme for this year's team, is that, again, And you look in our past, we've never been unselfish and team oriented on the offense. We actually can shoot the ball and play pretty dang good on offense, but we're more selfish when we're just settling for threes. We're not really working to create anything on offense. We sabotage ourselves a bit. Again, we settle for the Broncos settle for 26 threes in the game, only made 7. So we only shot 31. So we only put up 31 shots that weren't a 3. And again, this year, never settle for higher volume of 3s. We're not really hitting those that well. And putting ourselves in massive holes. And conference play and trying to overcome that. Same thing for when it was regular season non-conference too, like there were times where we would be just jacking up 3s for the heck of it, not really running much of an offense. And in the games we did that, we would lose more often than win. Because we got some talented shooters. AJ Neto's proven to be a pretty solid 3-point shooter. John Andrews still is okay in conference play. He could definitely stroke it. Andrew Meadows been one of our premier 3-point shooters. Again, in conference play, he hasn't really gotten as many opportunities as probably should. Again, because a bit of the point guard play and not really be much of an offense generator or facilitator. Drew Fielder has proven to be a reliable 3-point shooter as well. Jamin's really healthy. He can knock down the 3 at a good rate. Pina Carmichael is a solid 3-point shooter. Just needs to make more. Then, because, there were some games this year where he only missed maybe 2 or 3 threes and shot about 7. And Spencer Irons has proven to be a reliable 3-point shooter as well. And he's a freshman this year. So we got some talented 3-point shooters. Unfortunately, the talented ones aren't really getting a lot of real good licks or really many licks in the game at all. Again, this game, middle, whole game, only 1 3. Drew Fielder, only 1 3 ball. Peanut shot 6 times, only made 1. We would definitely love to see him become more effective and efficient with his 3-point shooting. Because we know he can do that. We know he can be a real dang good 3-point shooter. Again, I think he's only a sophomore this year. Spencer Irons, again, he's had some solid games from beyond the arc. Again, he only attempted 1 3 this game. So, yeah, a lot of things that need to be fixing for this team and for this year, but going forward next year for year 1 at the Pac-12. But as said, hopefully it's only upward from here. They still got everything in front of them. They could go on a bit of a run in the conference tournament, maybe win it. You never know. Especially if they play more like the version of themselves that beat Bella on the road. They had one Idaho Falls against St. Mary's. That beat a talented Wichita State team. That beat a talented Utah Valley team. Versus this version through the first 4 games or first 5 games of conference play, starting real crappy in terms of offense and a little bit of defense rebounding, again, like that version of the Hawaii Pacific game, So, yeah, again, it's up to this team to figure out what identity they really want to have for this year. Again, they can't get to being back to the team that, again, beat Utah State, Wichita State, Baylor, and St. Mary's. They go on a heck of a run and get some real impressive games. And win some real impressive and have some impressive wins at games in the next 15 games of conference play. If they don't, again, it's going to be a long season, and again, there's going to be even more calls for different coaching, including head coaching. Attendance is going to dip. There's going to be less students at games. There's going to be less fans at games. There might even be people next year in year 1 of Pac-12 conference that aren't going to want to renew their season tickets. Being one of the people that I'm in the group chat with for Section 12 said that if this kind of performance from tonight and the first 5 games of conference play continues, they're not going to renew their season tickets next year. So, yeah, definitely say that the men's basketball program right now is in a bit of a crossroads. They get back to being the team that, again, won those really impressive big wins. They're going to win the fan base back over. And the fan base is going to believe in them again. But if this, I'll be honest, crap keeps happening, the fan base is going to turn apathetic and really focus more on like the women's team, who honestly right now could probably beat the men's team. You might see more fans turn out for women's games and men's games. They might focus more on gymnastics or softball, or just save money and get ready for football instead and just disregard the men's basketball team the rest of the year. So what the men's team does going forward is going to have a huge impact on the fan turnout and fan belief in this program. I mean, like again, as said, some people are really saying, again, to fire Leon. I'm not there fully yet, but I'm starting to see, like, yeah, maybe that might need to be done. Just depends on how the rest of the season goes, because, yes, he is a legendary Boise State coach. He made 21 wins a standard, when before then, there was only 5 times in the history the Broncos got to 20 wins. And now that's more of a standard for this program. But looks like that's about the ceiling under him, is getting to 20 wins. Again, we only have 1 outright conference tournament title, like 2 regular season titles, and no NCAA tournament wins. I mean, that's the next step. Would love it if he's a coach who can do that, but unfortunately, history's proven so far not so much, and I think time is probably running out for Leon Rice in terms of that. I was just doing a quick little search of him. He was born in 63, it's now 2026, so that's like, 61 years? He's about like 60, 61 years old. Maybe he's got like, he can probably still coach for another decade, but I'm not sure if the rest of it's going to be with Boise State. We'll see, especially how the rest of this year goes. I bet JD's going to have some tough decisions to make as the season goes on if this kind of performance still continues. Right now he's 62 years old. Steve Fisher coached till he was 80, so he's got about another decade maybe. Again, we'll see if it's still as a Boise State men's coach, but again, he is a legend in terms of setting the standard of increasing and upping her standard to 20 wins a season. Again, he had a run of like 3 straight years making the NCAA tournament. That never happened before him in terms of making multiple trips in a row. The others maybe had 1 tops. And he also had a couple other at-large like 2012 or 2013. Yeah, like there were a couple of years where he had at least like back-to-back at-large as well. So, he's raised the standard for men's basketball, like 20 wins, and vying for like an at-large bubble bid. But unfortunately, that might be the ceiling for him, and that's the case. What's next from that? Like if he can't take us in beyond that level to win the NCAA tournament. We may need to think about, okay, who can take us to that next level? So again, right now, this basketball team is at a crossroads about where they go from here. And how is that going to affect Bronco Athletics in terms of fan support, but also in terms of the future of Bronco Athletics as well.